All right, good day to you. Welcome to the Life and Transitions Experts podcast. I'm your host, Courtney Rollins, here with some more content that hopefully is helpful to you here on this channel. I go through things that hopefully help folks who are going through some big transitions, particularly if that's going through the probate process or settling the estate, or perhaps they are trying to get their estate in order so that hopefully they'll avoid the probate process. I'm founder and owner and of Estate Pro Service LLC. I wear many hats, and one of them is a real estate investor and real estate wholesaler. And one of the ways that I find properties is by giving, serving, and helping folks who are in the state. Quite often, their property involved there, and at times, the most viable solution to their issue with the property is selling it quickly so that they can either pay the debt or distribute any inheritance that they need to distribute, or sometimes get rid of what they may assume is a burden because of various reasons. Maybe they live out of state, or perhaps they've inherited a tenant that's challenging or problemsome. And at times, they want to keep the property, and I can help them find ways to uh, maximize the equity in the property. There's a lot of different things that can happen, but the most important thing is to be able to listen and to hear and to come with a serving heart to be able to hopefully address some of those challenges and issues. Hey, and I'm so excited. As of this recording, I am, I guess, 12, 13 days a married man into the covenant with a beautiful woman. And we are newlyweds. And so when I think about where we have a date night tonight and we're looking over our last will and testament and looking over some other very important documents that we looked at before we got married, but also want to look at again so that we can make sure we are on the same page and planning appropriately. So, figured I'd share that with you because it works hand in hand with the Life and Transitions Experts podcast. And so, here are six essential estate planning documents for newlyweds, or really any couple for that matter. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm not giving any of that legal or financial advice. I'm just sharing my opinion through research and through again experience. And so take it with a grain of salt. Definitely make sure that you take a look at and get legal advice. If you need support with legal advice or finding an estate attorney, definitely reach out because I do have a connection with a nationwide group of vetted estate professionals that can support and help you. All right. So let's take a gander at the first document. The first document is the durable power of attorney. All right. So these are essential type of tools that you need, I assume and feel like you need to be able to have that peace of mind to know that regardless of any challenging times that may occur, at least you're protected and you have been able to establish some really important things. So a durable power of attorney allows you to designate someone like your spouse to make financial and legal decisions on your behalf if you become incapacitated. Now, as when you appoint your attorney, they can manage your bills, your affairs, and you may already be able to do that, but they can handle your investments that are specific in your name or the ones that you control. So, a durable power of attorney is essential, I think, to have, and hopefully you'll never need it. But sometimes you may be overseas and have to get to certain things, and your spouse needs to or the person that you designate this needs to have access to making financial decisions for you and legal decisions for you. So, durable power of attorney, definitely important document to have. Also, a health directive. This is also sometimes called a healthcare proxy or a medical power of attorney, but this allows you to appoint someone to make medical decisions on your behalf if you become incapacitated. And you can designate a line of people just in case that person either is not available or passed away or other things. But they can advocate for your medical needs based on what you have asked for when you're in your sound, state of mind. So it's very important to have that, and that would be number two. Yeah, so health directive is very, very important. You also may want to have a living will. Now, this documents what your preference is for your end of life medical care, such as resuscitation, life support, organ donations, but it clearly expresses your desire and it's legally bounding, and it relieves your spouse of having to make decisions during some really challenging times. So, having a living will in your estate helps you make sure that your wishes are known and respected in a legal space. Also, a last will and testament. Now, this does not avoid the probate process in most spaces, definitely not in North Carolina. You have to take the last will and testament and probate it so that the wishes can be carried out by the administrator or the executor in this case. So it tells how you want your assets distributed, who you want the executor to be, will they have to have a bond, who are the designated beneficiaries, all of that good stuff. Now, there are ways that you can, and definitely consult an attorney, have your last will and testament be work hand in hand with the next document or documents that I really think is important for anyone to have, particularly if you have any form of assets, and that is either is a trust, either a revocable trust or irrevocable trust. And there's tons of different types of trust there, but this is also known as a living trust. This allows a a legal entity it becomes the manager of your assets during your lifetime and after your death. And it's a great way, depending on how it's set up, to avoid the probate process because the trust owns the assets. You may just be designated as the beneficiary or the grantor, or wherever the space you've decided to place. It gives you privacy. It also allows for seamless transitions of assets upon your death or your spouse's death. And a revocable trust is a little more flexible or more flexible than irrevocable trust, as the name indicates. Irrevocable means that's what it is, you know. And so it's a lot harder to change an irrevocable trust than a revocable trust, as you can see in the name. All right, so number five is the having some type of trust. I definitely encourage revocable trusts, regardless of how small or large your assets are. And finally, the HIPAA. You know, I went to school back in the 90s, and I remember this being a huge thing, especially when I started working in schools. I was an educator in my former, well, I'm still an educator, but regardless, HIPAA, the Health Insurance Portable and Accountability Act, and I spelled it out there because I always get the words a little mixed up. But similar to the health directive, it, but a little slightly different that it gives someone access to your private medical records. So giving someone that authorization allows them to have access to information, which is very important, so they can have maybe vital information to make a more informed decision for your care based on that information. So including these documents is so important: the durable power of attorney, the health directive, the living will, last will and testament, a trust of some form, and a HIPAA authorization will allow you as a newlywed, newly married couple, or any couple, or really any type of relationship, to have a comprehensive protection of your assets, your health decisions, your privacy, all that great stuff that we want to have. And actually, if you need any support creating a plan, although I'm not an attorney, like I said, I have a great relationship with tons of attorneys, and one great relationship is Trust and Wills. This place has become a go-to spot for folks who want a wide range of different tools at their hands, whether it's vetted attorneys or documents they can use to create the trust and create the wills. You also can do probate. I would love to share the discount I have with them, so feel free to reach out to me and I can connect you with that information and hopefully it will be useful to you. All right, folks. So date night tonight. We're gonna be looking over estate plans, and then we may do a little bowling. She has some long nails, but she finally said yes to bowling. I don't. It's just there's a cool bowling spot down in space I've been wanting to take a look at, and we're gonna definitely have some delicious food. And I hope that you have a great day and a great weekend. This is the Life in Transitions Experts podcast. Let your light shine.